Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. How are you? I'm so grateful to be here with you all today. Let me know where you're coming in from in the comments. And, we're going to talk about biggest aging accelerators today. So let's drop in the chat. What is your biggest challenge, or should I say, emotional concern? When you think about getting older, you think about the aging process, and you're actually looking around. And I know the other day somebody said to me, "Gosh, Dr. Donahue, I can't believe I just turned 60, right? It went so fast." So I think so many individuals kind of step into that energy, but really, the truth is that we get to live every single moment of every day. Some days are more challenging than others, but it's really, as you always hear me say, the steps that we take every single day create the life that we're living. And that is the same with how we are aging. So today, I really wanted to just focus in on sugar, stress, and sleep. Because if we can get those in check, especially coming into this like busy season, I can't even believe Thanksgiving is like right around the corner. It's just feels like, oh my goodness, it's like really here, right? And it becomes real. Let's just take a quick breath together because I like to just ground us, but I also like to think about your vision, let's say for next year, for 2026. And imagine right now, as you close your eyes, if you can, and imagine that it's January 2nd. And energetically, your body is feeling light, your mind is clear, your skin is bright, you're full of joy and receiving from the amazing season behind us. That's not luck. That is lower inflammation. And that's what I want to talk to you about today on how to take back control of sleep, sugar, and stress, because these are the daily accelerators that nobody talks about. I just had this conversation with two patients yesterday. So, type one word for how you want to feel on January 2nd as we close out that connection time. If you're live, like drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're at. If you're shy and you want to do it afterwards, we also read them as well because I'm here to show up for you. So let's talk about accelerator number 1. What I'm thinking that's coming up for me around sugar and glycation, my patients often say, like, "Dr. Donahue, I'm doing everything right. Why do I still feel puffy and my hands feel stiff?" And this is where I want to talk about sugar's hidden path, right? Sugar doesn't just raise your energy. It's not just an addictive substance, like more addictive than cocaine, right? It actually sticks to your proteins and fats, and that's what glycation is. And it forms these ages, which are aminoglycans that actually harden your tissue and inflame your arteries, your skin, your brain. And if we lower dietary ages, that helps reduce your inflammation and helps reduce insulin resistance. So, some of the pain points that I know many of you suffer with could be like morning stiffness or getting out of a chair after sitting for a period of time, like at your desk. Maybe it's puffy eyes, like around your hole. I had a patient who had like periorbital edema around her eyes last week. It could be like post-meal brain fog, like after you eat, you just can't think. Maybe an afternoon crash. Like I always ask my patients, how do you feel like around 3 to 4, right? Or is it wrinkles in your skin or drying in your skin? This I think of as like faster skin aging, right? So then you're like, well, what do I do if this is like what is happening for me, right? You're speaking my language. So number 1, I want you to think about what's on your plate. You want protein first, good quality protein and fiber. And then carbs should be your last resort. Because what you don't realize, or many people don't realize, is that even if they're healthy carbs like sweet potato, beautiful winter squash, like we're getting right now in New England, the body doesn't know the difference really between like a high glycemic carb like that, like or sugar. It's still glucose. And so we want to feed the body the protein and the fiber. And the fiber first, when I think about it, I think about coming from vegetables. So when I also think about low glycan ages cooking, you want to think about steaming more of your food. You could poach it or even on slow cooker. So if you're the type of individual that likes like your meat like really crispy and you look at that like kind of burning, that is ages, right? And that is not good for you. You really want to turn if you're using a grill or on the stove, the frying, you really want to turn it down and slow it. Okay. And then you could also think about some daily supports that could also help you. You could cook with curcumin with your meals because this can help lower inflammation, or otherwise, like I talk about inflammatory markers like, CRP, C-reactive protein. You can get highly sensitive or quantitative, or if you have a tendency that your doctor has had, you have a higher SED rate, or you're just feeling like your skin, like a edematous, like the skin's not going back. So curcumin definitely helps lower inflammatory markers. And so does omega-3s like EPA and DHA, right? I always tell patients we don't eat enough oils, and you don't want to cook with olive oil. It's a carcinogen. Once you're done like steaming your veggies, you can take your veggies off and like pour olive oil on it. Green tea is really good as long as it works okay for you. It actually has really strong polyphenols in it that can help. And then if you want to think about homeopathy, I think about Nux vomica for overindulging in your food. Like that might be something good to have over the holidays. Or arsenicum album if you have that bloat in your stomach. And really ask yourself, especially as we step into the holidays, that's why I want to arm and load you and support you. You can ask yourself, where does hidden sugar sneak in? Is it in going to Starbucks and getting a coffee drink, like some sort of, I don't actually even know what they're called. I am so sorry, but some sort of like mocha latte, is that what they're called? Something mocha, or maybe you love going to Thai restaurants. You've got to be careful with some of those restaurants. They actually put sugar in their sauces. Or are you doing like protein bars, right? Like where could your sugars be coming in from? So you want to be aware of the nutrition that you're eating and you want it to be balanced. Now I want to like pivot to stress. I want to tell you that the holiday seasons get busy, but they don't have to be, right? They don't, you get to set boundaries for yourself because I look at stress as the hormonal hijacker. The body cannot heal in the same environment that made it inflamed. So if you're pumping cortisol and you're trying to stay on that push, push, go, go, drive, drive sort of setup, it's going to be very difficult for your other hormones to be built, but your inflammation to come down because your body thinks it's running from that saber-toothed tiger. So we know, like with my terminology and in plain language, that chronic psychological stress can shorten your telomeres, and those are your DNA end caps. And they can actually stress can actually advance biological age. So the higher cortisol DHEAS ratio, that tracks with accelerated epigenetic aging, right? So basically, what's the translation of that, Dr. Donahue? It's that stress ages cell faster, right? The cells, cells, not S. the stress ages and creates faster cell progression. And so, what could this look like? It could be like wired but tired nights. It could be like where many of my female patients, male patients now as well, where they get really concerned about like that belly fat, like right between the breast and above the abdomen. Um, Tension headaches, or even like light sleep, the inability to fall asleep. So, is this making sense or any questions popping up? Don't hesitate to add questions into the chat because I know like this feels basic to me, but I know to so many you don't put it together like this, right? And you're still in this in the struggle point of like what's wrong and why am I aging and why don't I feel great? So, what are some action steps that can help you with stress? I call this my 3 by 3 reset, where 3 times a day you pause with 3 slow nasal breaths and 3 grateful. What are you grateful for? Gratitudes. This helps train your brain, that parasympathetic response, to calm down, right? To bring you down into grounding. Like every 50 minutes or so, if you can, get up and walk around and do some breathing and grounding and get into your body. It seems so simple. It is. It doesn't cost anything. Everybody says natural medicine costs so much money. That's not true. I'll debunk that all the time. And this is free. All you need is your breath. You come in with your breath. That's the first thing you do. And the last thing you do is you take your last breath. Why don't we take breathing so seriously? Another thing you could do is in the evening, you could have your 20-minute walk, right? Or journal something that you're grateful about before you stop, screens. Like don't get onto screens. Maybe you think about journaling, right? And that can help you ground. I also think of, and be cautious when I share some of these herbs with you, be sure that they're indicated for you and that you're getting quality pharmaceutical grade supplements, because there's a lot of supplements out there, unfortunately, that aren't quality. I just had this conversation. It took me a couple hours to find quality supplements for my 5-year-old patient yesterday. So ashwagandha extract, it helps you not only balance your hormones, but it actually shows reductions in stress and anxiety and cortisol as well. You always want to be cautious if you're pregnant and taking it during pregnancy. But I just really love the ashwagandha herb. You can also get it in an herbal tea and sip it throughout the day as well. My suggestion is don't take it past like 4 p.m. in the afternoon because it does support the adrenals a little bit. There are some patients that actually take it at night, right? So you just got to be cautious. If you started taking something and it's keeping you awake, then make sure that you are aware like, hey, I started this. When I think about homeopathy as well for sleep, if you've been going through some grief or stress or chest tightness, you could actually look at Ignatia, right? Or even gelsemium can help you with anticipatory stress. So think to yourself right now, what reliably calms you in 5 minutes or less? Like what helps you calm yourself? Drop it in the chat. Sarah, what are you asking me to spell? Gelsemium? Ignatia? I'm not sure what you're asking me to spell. But I'm happy to spell it. So as we're entering the holidays, most people begin to lose ground. They sugar up, they stress up, they don't sleep as well, they don't have boundaries with their loved ones. And that's really like, it was a couple years ago, really why I stepped into sorry, I was reading the chat. Let me read it in a minute. So that's really why I created my membership program, Pocket Doc, right? Because people wanted to be in a community that was a membership where they would get weekly guidance and quick audios and handouts that will help them become accountable so that their inflammation doesn't increase, and they are supported while everyone else is going up, right? Because they're under stress. And when I walk you through Pocket Doc, it's really not another restrictive plan. It's really me sharing the system in real life with me in your corner and supporting you on real life scenarios that I'm working with my patients. And so right now I think about how can I support you through December and a powerful January so that you can really show up and not lose momentum. So let me drop the link in the chat. Oh, ashwagandha. Okay, I see what you're saying. Let me drop the link in the chat and put the banner as well for Pocket Talk. It's there for you. I'm supporting you. If it works for you, great. I can't spell it myself. There you go. So it's ashwagandha. And that is 100% there for you so that Pocket Doc can support you. And so let's talk about the last very important accelerator of aging. It's poor sleep, because your brain and your metabolism get thrown off. Did you know that when you sleep, you burn fat, right? So one short night of sleep can really reduce your insulin sensitivity. Repeated short sleep raises your IL-6 and your CRP, right? So that is causing inflammation if you have short sleep. If you have really good sleep, think of that as being the opposite, because during your deep sleep, your brains, it's called your glymphatic system, it clears metabolic waste. It's like, think of it like as an overnight rinse. Like your brain is, this just came up for me, so I'm going to share it. Your brain is washing itself at night, right? So if you're an individual that's waking up between 2 to 3 in the morning and you feel swollen, or you're craving carbs or sugar, you feel emotional reactive, you're tired but wired, you probably didn't get really good sound sleep. See, the truth is you could be in bed for 8 or 9 hours, but did you get deep sleep and deep REM sleep, right? I know for me, I need 3.5 to 4 hours of deep REM sleep to really feel recovered in the morning. And so I traveled last week. So I'm still trying to get back on that because I traveled time zones and I actually feel it. And I try to share with you guys when I'm feeling these pieces, because it's so important for you to know that I'm a human being as well. And when I share these action steps, these are steps that I'm always working on myself as well. So, what are some ways that you can be sure that you get the sleep that you need? Go to bed at the same sleep window nightly. Aim for 8 hours as a minimum, right? Make sure that your room is like what I call a dark, cool cave, where your phone is out of your bedroom. You only use your bedroom for sleep, and you really have low lights before you go to bed. Like if you start your screen time and all that, like right as you get into bed, that blue light can wake up your brain and tell your brain it's active, and not allow melatonin, which is the hormone that comes in and says, you're tired, it's time to go to sleep, right? You're reactivating your brain again. So be really careful with that. And some herbs that I think about that could help sleep, remember, check with your practitioner, is magnesium glycinate with dinner. Definitely like a minimum of an hour before you go to sleep, or even chamomile or like a lemon balm or passion flower, valerian sleepy time tea. And make sure that you don't drink the tea so close to bed that when you fall asleep, you have to get up and use the bathroom, because that's waking you as well. You really want to figure out a system that works, right? You could just do a direct passion flower herbal sort of supplement around 200 to 500 milligrams. So you'd want that to be a minimum of 60 minutes to an hour before you go to bed, because passion flower and even valerian, it shows improved sleep quality. And then if I'm looking at homeopathy, I'm trying to give you an area of each part of herbal medicine. I haven't talked about food because I talk about that all the time, but food is important as well. If you didn't eat a really healthy, balanced meal throughout the day, your sleep is probably not going to be on point. I'm just saying. So for homeopathy, coffea cruda 6C for that racing mind. If you can't shut your mind off. And these are really small, minute doses, like 6Cs. And then arsenicum album can actually also help with restlessness around 1 to 3. So I want you to be honest with yourself. How many hours did you get last night so that you can check in? And then how many hours are you committed to get tonight and going forward now that you know what you know? So I want you to pick one accelerator option that I gave you above, because I know that simplicity builds momentum, and momentum and habits build discipline, right? And so many patients like, oh, Dr. Johnny, you're so healthy. And it's like, yes, and I've been doing this for 30 plus years. So I'm changing too. Like last week, I traveled a lot. It was fantastic. I had so much fun, but I was ready to be home and back in my nutrition routine, my movement new routine, and my sleep routine, right? So, what are 7-day micro commitments that you could think about? I'm going to go through them again as a rephrase so that you can choose what works. And I would suggest you write it down. I was looking for a sticky note, but I don't have one handy. Write it down on a sticky note and put it somewhere where you can read and practice this all week. So, sugar, are you going to do protein first breakfast and low age cooking this week? Remember, that was steaming and boiling and not frying. Or stress, we talked about 3x3 reset daily, that breathing and that connecting to yourself. Or maybe ashwagandha if that's appropriate. And then the last one out of the 3 aging accelerators we talked about was sleep. Is there some sort of herbal tea that you can have, or some sort of stretching or breathing or meditation, or screens off for an hour and then get to sleep at the same time every night, a consistent bedtime? Like out of all those 3, what is one thing that you're going to hone in on? Like, what are you struggling with the most? That's what I'm asking you. So let us know, like, is it sugar, is it stress, or is it sleep? And if you need support, like I know I ask this a lot, but if you need support around a certain area, please respond to our emails and let us know. You'd be surprised at the amount of people that actually respond or put a comment in the chat. And then I make sure that I build it into the schedule to support you so that I can help you with your tip that you need, right? Because you deserve to age powerfully and not passively, right? You 100% deserve to create the life, but you have to create it, right? I had a patient I hadn't seen for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, and she came in and I got her in, and I could tell she needed to see me. And she had been seeing somebody else that didn't solve her problem. And I'm like, why did you wait? Right? That's what I'm saying to all of you. Why did you wait? Why are you waiting? Take these small steps now because they will help you. And for those of you that need support through the holiday season, I am running a metabolism reset challenge next week, starting on Monday. I will drop the link in the chat. And it is geared around individuals because so many people reached out to me and needed support. It is geared towards individuals around taking GLP-1 medications, and they are not bad. I don't disrespect them, like nothing. They are helping us, bring down chronic disease, but I also don't want to see you get sick from not eating. So I did drop at the last minute, I just dropped the link in the chat if you want to join. And we just decreased our upgrade to $27 so that more people could actually show up and that I could support them. And that's more in a private room where I'm going to support you through the holiday season where you can ask questions, because now's the time that mind chatter starts to happen. Like, what can I do before the holidays? Like, do I do 20 squats a day, 20 in the morning, 20 at night? Do I cut out some more sugar and carbs? Do I get to bed earlier? Do I have really healthy conversations? I don't know what it is, but throughout that 5-day challenge, I'm actually going to walk you through all of the ways to help you reset your metabolism and really give you a roadmap, because it's not always about food. It's about detoxification. It's about understanding how your metabolism works and how you lose fat and how you release stored toxins, right? Your chemicals, your hormones, those residues have been locked in fat cells for a long time. And then we're actually releasing them quite quickly, and then people get tired and fatigued. So I want to help support you on getting in the right nutrition through this process. So that's starting on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the VIP for the $27, which we just decreased today, is there for you, for your offer, for you to get closer and connected with me. And I'll just pause for a few minutes and see if there's any questions. Sarah, you are so welcome. Sorry, I didn't hear what you were trying to say. Ashwagandha, so that's like one of my favorite female herbs, but just make sure it's okay for you to take. So I'll hang on for a few minutes and see if you have any questions at all. And if you really want a deep dive, like I mentioned, like Pocket Talk, Pocket Talk is, on sale right now through the holidays. I'm here to support you, right? I always say to patients are like, you must keep yourself so busy. And really my goal is to see you healthy, right? This is just natural for me to pop in and talk about what I love and show up for you so that you guys can get the support that you need as well. All right, I am going to jump off. It's 3:00. I am sending you love. Hopefully I'll see you next week. If I don't see you next week, then have the following week. I'm also on as well. I won't be on the Friday after Thanksgiving, but I'm sending you blessings as we step into the holidays again forward, if you're an individual that celebrates them. And I am sending you so much love and healing. And here's to figuring out how you can decrease your aging. Begin to look at stress, sleep, and sugar as the areas that are aging you. All right, I am sending you love. Have a beautiful rest of your day and a great weekend ahead.